Hello, it's Nancy today. You are hanging from my mirror in the car, you know. So you are a hands-free device. Yes, indeed, and my telephone is in here. That's also a hands-free device. Well, you know, I have something to tell you. I don't usually have anything to say anymore, so I haven't been making videos. I wonder why that is. Yesterday, I put a new window in the bedroom. It's my fourth new window, and it's the third one in that bedroom, and it's huge. It's twice as big as the one that was in there. Well, no, I guess it's not. You know, 6 inches on two sides makes an awful lot of difference. Just incredible amount of hugeness compared to. I feel like I'm outside. I feel, instead of feeling like the room is bigger, I almost feel like the room is smaller because I go right through the wall and I'm outside. That's weird, eh? These people are selling their waterfront property when it's in flood. The rivers are high. There's all these wooden houses or log homes here. Old ones, like old centurion log homes. I wondered if you could see them as we drove past, but no. Well, I've been going through my photos on Facebook, Nancy Today, with 2 A's. I have many photos, thousands of photos, I think, and maybe not thousands, but I know at least 1,000 because one album had 500 in it. Anyway, you know when you take a photo with your iPod or your camera, a phone or something, it uploads it, and mine always called it iOS was the name of the album, and so I changed the name of the album to 2013, and then I had to change the album name to 2014, but that really was no good because the pictures in there were not all from 2014 anymore. So I've been going through on my main Facebook page. I click on albums, and I have this enormous amount of albums. Well, I decided I would consolidate them and go through each album and find that in each album is exactly what I want in that album and not a whole bunch of other stuff that happens to be in that album too. So I've been working on that for 2 days. Well, no, not 2 days, because I spent yesterday putting the window in with Willem. Willem had to help me. I usually can do things by myself, but it was so frustrating. Everything about it was going wrong. Everything was too hard. I think my back hurt. I don't know. I had no energy. And yet I was doing this because it was Monday, and it was the day when it was going to get up to 70 something. Let me see. It was going to go up to 18. 18 is 36 plus 32 is 68. No, it was going up to 68. It was 68 yesterday. But it was damp, and there was a breeze. But as it got up higher into those numbers, it was better. So I thought, this is the day. So I went ahead and I cut the hole. And I thought, easy job, cut the hole. But I had another window to take out. And I couldn't go outside to take the trim off the outside of the window. So I just cut through it with my Sawzall. I love my Sawzall. It cuts through nails and everything. It's so simple. If you put a nail in the wrong place, you just have to get between the two boards with the Sawzall. It goes zzz, and it comes out. It's awesome. Anyway, I kept doing everything wrong. I kept cutting wrong. It took forever to figure out that there was a nail on the inside that had hooked to the little frame of the Sawzall that is actually against the wall. The blade goes on through, but this little frame, and there was this little tiny nail that was had held on trim originally, and my thing would not go past it, and I thought I was sawing on a nail like the blade was hitting something, and I was just so frustrated. It just wouldn't go and wouldn't go and wouldn't go. And it was like after a week of doing it that I finally noticed this little nail that was holding my thing, and it was nothing I was sawing at all. It was just holding the frame of my machine. That was something else. That was one frustration. Boy, I could feel my stomach tensing as I talk about all this. And then when I got the window out, it was too high because our big power thing is up there. So I had to go low, had to lower the window down. And so we ended up leaving this big gap where we had cut the hole, but then didn't want it up that high. It had to be down lower. So it turns out that lower is much better. I really prefer it lower. But then that was another problem. And then I had this big gap I had to fill, so I had to create these studs that would go from my studs up to it, above my frame for the window. And I built the frame, but the frame was kind of large, and it was hard to put it all together, and so I had to get Willem up to hold it. I finally got it nailed in place and done. And then we put the window in the frame and put it up there, and we were trying to wiggle it and shoved, I guess the frame, our 2x4 frame, was not in properly, and so the window, I shoved it in one place, and you know what happened? It went right through and fell out on the roof. And I reached out really quickly. Luckily it was low enough. I reached out and I grabbed the two windows which had fallen out of the window frame, out of the window itself. So I had the screen slid down, fell off the roof, and I caught the other two, so thank goodness they didn't fall off and break. And the whole window frame, that was out. Only the metal, the wooden 2x4 frame was still in. Anyway, what a hassle. Oh, I was so glad when Willem was there. I was also glad that I was not on the side of the house that didn't have a window, a roof for it to land on. I found it was a very frustrating time. Very, very frustrating. And then, of course, dust was going everywhere as I had to saw over and over again. I had so much dust and bits, and my goodness, my stomach is really tight now. I must have said the manure word 20 times. I don't usually swear. I mean, the odd time something important falls and breaks, I will let the S word slip. Anyway. So in the end, Willem came and helped me. Well, he was helping me along during a lot of this time. And it was all very frustrating. Anyway, I'm glad that's over. So the window is in. And then I put foam insulation around it, and I just filled that whole gap with foam insulation. For now, I have to put plywood back on the outside of the house. I cut too big a hole. So it needs plywood, and it needs... And I thought maybe I could just take a piece that I cut out when I was putting up making the other windows. Maybe I could just, it's already got the siding on it. Of course those windows were smaller, so none of that's going to fit. It's going to leave gaps and have edges. I wish I knew a carpenter I could call. Anyway, so that's that. I'll talk to you later.